Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be doing a unhaul. So these are probably some of my favorite videos to actually film because I feel very like it's like spring cleaning almost, but with books, and I love it. And usually with these ones I bring to half price books and I get a either store credit that I can use, or I can get like the cash equivalent. But me and my sister, she's coming home from her reading week soon, so these are the books I'm gonna bring in, and we're gonna put that towards like the books that we would get. And then we also, I think, have a 20% off coupon as well, so we're gonna be doing some bargain shopping, which is exciting. So yeah, these, I don't have that many books here, but probably get like $2 or $3 worth of stuff. But you know what, it's always good, it frees up room on my shelf, so I can't complain. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So starting out, this was a series that I unhauled the second and third book. I really enjoyed the first one, I just didn't like the direction the series went afterwards. And I was looking at this one on my shelf and I just figured, you know what, I probably won't pick this up ever again. And it is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. I read this, I want to say, around September 2018, and like I said, I really enjoyed the first one. I just didn't like the directions the series went afterwards. That's why I unhauled the second and third one. So I figured there's no reason for me to hold on to this if it's a book that I probably won't pick up, and I might as well give it to someone who would someone who probably would enjoy this more than me. So that's why I'm finally kind of letting this one go. So this is one that I read later in 2019, and I had it on my shelf for a while, and I was like, I'm just gonna read it. And although I did enjoy this book, it's just I didn't like the format that it was in. It jumped around too much in its story, like this timeline. And it was A Piece of the World by Christina Cline. This one is like I said, I enjoyed some aspects of this book, but the way it kind of jumped around, it was very slow, and it doesn't really get exciting until like the last bit of the book, like the last 30 or so pages. But yeah, it was an interesting story. I just thought it was too slow. It kind of goes into, for those who don't know, it goes into the woman behind this famous painting called Christina's World. And the woman behind it, she had Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which is kind of like a nervous system kind of pathology, and she kind of struggled with that, and just how that house that she lived in was also her sanctuary but also her prison. I loved that thematic aspect in here and that aspect of the book, but just for whatever reason, it was just too slow, and I was just like, I like her other book. I think it is, what is the other one? I'm trying to look at my shelf. I'll have it here, but I liked the other one of hers that I read, so I'm like, I don't need to hold on to this one if I didn't like it as much as the other. So this was a book that I had high expectations going into it, and I just didn't really like it. And it was The Tattooist of Auschwitz. So I love historical fiction, so for me to find one that is based off of a true story and for me not to like, you know, that's one in a million, I feel like. But I just didn't like the writing style in this. Heather Morris is a screenwriter, so her writing is very choppy, and so basically it will be a sentence like, he was sad, period, the man stole his bread or whatever, like that. It was very choppy, and it wasn't a good writing. And yeah, and the story in here, the way they wrote it, she very much wrote it I was never connected to these characters, and especially one a story that takes place in a concentration camp, and this is based off of a true story. I would expect to have some emotional impact in here, and I didn't. I had a greater the forward that was, or afterward, that was written by their son, had a greater emotional impact on me than this entire book. So there's something wrong with that. I just was very disappointed by this in so many different ways, and there's no, even though it's a small book, there's no reason for it to take up room on my shelf if I didn't enjoy it. This was a book that I got for Christmas a couple years ago, and I picked it up last summer, I want to say, and it's not really the genre that I really gravitate towards, but I decided to give it a try, and it is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And I didn't like this book. I don't really find myself reading self-help books or like kind of gravitating towards that or finding a need for them, and just where I am in my life now. But she is very creative at saying the same thing over and over and over again, but just in a different way. So like this book, I didn't find like I took anything away from it. It just said, like I said, the same thing over and over again, and each chapter was like basically a carbon copy of what I've read previously. So I don't understand the hype for this. If maybe some people would find some parts of these or some part of this book to be beneficial, but for me it just wasn't for me. Next I have Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Myracle. And this is a book that me and my friend read for our book club. She reads it every year at Christmas, and this was a book that I've seen around for years. I just never picked up. I don't really gravitate towards YA contemporary, but because it was the book club, I tagged along, and this is probably one of my most despised books of 2019. I just couldn't relate to the teenage drama for the sake of being, like, just for the sake of drama, and just like the characters were so whiny. I'm like, I know like I had my moments as a teenager, but like I was never like this. And I just, like I said, it like literally irritated me, and I was just like, can't deal with this. But yeah, it was just, I found if this was written today, there are aspects in here that I find to be very problematic, like in terms of like saying the R word. Like I don't think that is ever okay, and this book does. So that's why I was like, I find that very problematic. I did enjoy the movie a little bit more than this, but it was just like a teen rom-com. But yeah, I didn't like this book, and yeah. And lastly, I have this mammoth of a book that me and my aunt read for our book club, which was Resistance Women by Jennifer Chiaverini, and yeah, I appreciate the same thing kind of with the Tattooist of Auschwitz. I appreciate the story because it is based off of a true story, and so I'm not saying those stories are not significant or valid. It's just I didn't like the presentation of them in the book. So this one follows a group of people who were known as the Red Orchestra, who were German citizens that were trying to smuggle information to the Allies during World War II, and it basically follows them like early on. So the book starts at 1929, October 1929, and goes until the end of the war. So it covers nearly 20 years of like these people's lives, and I felt like a good solid like 250 pages out of this nearly 600 page book could have been shaved down, and there was just too much detail that didn't add to the characters, like background, the storyline, any of it. So it was just, I don't know, like it was really irritating because it would jump around from different perspectives, so you wouldn't see this character in a while, and then like there would just be one chapter dedicated to them just going for a walk or having breakfast that morning, and it doesn't really contribute to the plot. And yeah, it was just not my favorite. Like I said, historical fictions, like I usually love them, but last year for whatever reason was just not a good historical fiction year. But yeah, if they took out like this much of the book, like I feel like it would have been better, and if it was more kind of precise and consistent with its kind of writing tempo, I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them, or if there's any books that you will be unhauling soon. Like I said, I am always like, I love cleaning. I like kind of like downsizing your stuff, and like this is like totally up my alley. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.